Hey guys, um, I've been meaning to make a video of the dreams that I've been having or some events that's been happening with me. But you know, I've been trying to allocate some time, but it seems like there's never enough time, right? But I just wanted to make this quick video. It's mostly going to be about I felt led to make a video about this encouragement. Um, because I know that a lot of believers are actually being persecuted right now, actually under spiritual attack right now, especially me, like I've never ever experienced before in my life, and it's just really crazy the things that that's been going on with me. All kinds of attacks to me in the morning at nighttime. At work. I mean, it's just constant to the point where you're like, oh God, I can't take this anymore. But I know it's for a reason. It's for a good cause. It's really to refine us and prepare us for whatever's going to happen in the future. I'm not sure what, but I know that's the reason for it. All right. So I just want to make this video just to encourage everyone who's actually going through what I'm going through. All the believers, I guess the people who I guess the Satan is actually targeting right now for these end times. Just look at it as look at it like this. The reason why you're being targeted is because you're a threat to to Satan's kingdom. So that's really how that's one of the techniques that I've used to kind of get myself through the attacks. Is I listen. You're being attacked because you're a threat. You know, you're blessed of God, and then Satan knows that. Okay, so just keep going, keep praying. Keep pushing through. You're gonna, you'll eventually get through the end, get to the end of this thing. All right, guys. So, um, it's gotten to a point where you can't even sleep at nighttime. It's like you try and get rest, and then you're waking up in the middle of the night with these thoughts in your head that you just don't want to have, and it's like you're tortured in your soul. I'm not sure how to even explain it. It's just these thoughts that you don't want in your head are constantly bombarding you, and you want to get them out. And it's especially, see, the thing with me is in my scenario, it's when you're awake, during the day. It's you can pretty much have your guard up. I can keep myself on guard and kind of monitor my thoughts a little more. Right, so it's probably a little harder for the devil to get an angle on me because I'm constantly on guard throughout the day. Not always, but more often than I am at nighttime, because at nighttime I'm sleeping or I'm about to sleep, right? And I can't really keep my guard up when I'm sleeping, as far as my mind, protect my mind, because basically when you're sleeping, your mind is pretty much more open to influence. Um, you know, just like it says in Job, I think it says, I forgot the chapter and verse, but it mentions that when a man sleeps at nighttime, I seal his instructions, or something like that. You know, so that's the time when when these unclean spirits pretty much get at you and start to just to fill your head full of thoughts and just things you just really really hate to think about. Things, whatever, things from your past, things that you're afraid of, whatever your thing is that the devil, these spirits know about you, and that's what they use to torture you with. Fear, anything. It doesn't matter what it is. They've been pretty much assigned to each of us, and they know us very well. They know all of our secrets. They know all of our past. They've been around us pretty much for a long time. And they know your weaknesses, and they know how to press your buttons. They know your little dirty secrets, things that you've done in the past that God has forgiven you for, or something they know how to bring that back up, and they know how to also just things that you're weak in. that's related to something, whatever it is, they'll bring that up. Um, it's just constant torture. It kind of reminds me of that verse in the Bible where it says, I think it's in Peter, where he mentions Job was tortured in his soul by the lawless deeds that he saw. This is like that. It's being tortured in your soul by the thoughts that are in your head that you try to get out night and day. And you're just constantly praying and praying in the spirit and just trying to stay in the word much. Even when you read the word, here he comes. Here they come with the thoughts, and it's just. But we just got to keep pushing through, guys. All right, we got to keep pushing through no matter what. We're almost there. We're almost at the end. Just one experience that I had where this is actually a good and bad, because the Lord actually is helping me, is He's actually refining me and showing me things that I probably wouldn't have seen before if I wasn't going through this experience, this spiritual battle. So, and I actually saw one of the spirits that's assigned to me. I didn't see his face or anything, but I saw his shadow, his outline. So I'm sleeping in bed one night, right? And I'm getting these thoughts. Sometimes when you're kind of in sleep and out of sleep, and you're thinking these things, but you're kind of between sleep and not between sleep. I can't really explain it. But this night I was sleeping, and when I'm sleeping, my wife gets up to go to the bathroom, right? And I'm laying there in bed, and my face is facing, my back is okay. Well, she gets up to go to the bathroom, all right? And in the spirit, I see this thing coming up behind me, because I'm laying on the bed on my side with my back turned towards it, looking at the wall right next to me in my bed. Okay, so with my back turned, I see this spirit coming up. He walks from the closet in my bedroom. He walks from the closet over to the other side of the bed where my wife normally sleeps, and he bends over me over the bed and whispers things in my ear. And I saw it. I saw him walking over to me before he even got to me. Okay, I'm not gonna say what he said, but what he said was part of my torment. It's related to the stuff that I'm being tormented with. Okay. So yeah, they're all, they have their job, they have their assignments, but we have to carry out our assignments by the Lord also. Okay, whatever it is you're assigned to do, you got to keep doing it, keep fighting, because we're in a battle. We're in a battle for souls, for our soul most of the time, and yeah, so this thing came over to me, and it's amazing too, because my back is turned. But in the spirit, you can see. It's like you can see all around you. When when you're with your normal sight, you can only look forward, and also in your peripheral vision, you can see also. But in the spirit, it seems you can see all around you. Even when my back was turned, I could see him walking from the closet up to my bed, and then leaning over me, behind me, leaning over to my ear. My right ear was exposed, but my left ear was in the pillow. So he leaned over and whispered into my right ear this thing that, something that I don't want to hear, something that would kind of cause me to get depressed or set me off or something like that. And the Lord showed me this whole thing. Okay, so so I thank God for that I was actually see, because when you're actually able to see that, it's a reminder that, listen, these are not your thoughts. These are actually spirits that are sent here to torment you and distract you. Okay, so I'm glad I did see that. So for you guys out there who are experiencing that, the mental torture, the torture of the soul, morning, noon, and night, it's a spirit. Okay, and the thing that they do also, since they know you so well and they've been around you so well. What I've noticed in my experience is that they'll say things to you and make it sound like it's your voice, right? So I can't explain it. They know how to sound like you in your head, or they know how to say things that you would normally say, but they'll just they'll use your way of speaking and make it seem like it's actually your thought. So when you think in these thoughts, you think it's you, and you're tortured by it. But it's actually them something like you. Okay, so you have to realize that, guys. Just because the thought sounds like something that it sounds like something that you would normally say, um, that's not that's not the case always. Okay, if it doesn't line up with the word, or if it's not holy, then it's a chance that it's not you. Okay, so you gotta remember that they know how to sound, they know how to project thoughts into our head, voices into our head, or thoughts that sound like our thought pattern, or sounds like the way we would talk or the way we would think. Okay, so that's one of the tricks that they do that I've noticed. So the sooner you can catch that and realize that, the more equipped you'll be to do battle, and to realize that. Because one of the bad things is when you're actually going through a battle, when you're inside of the torment, right? You you're focused on the sometimes you get focused on the torment, that that it's you forget that you're doing battle. You're thinking, I'm thinking, okay, I'm just having these thoughts, and I hate these thoughts, and you're kind of wrapped up in the thought. It's sort of like you can't separate fiction, or separate what's real from what's not real, and because the thought is just it just captures your mind. You ever do I can the only thing I could think to explain it to you, the best way I can explain it to you. You ever see that movie, The Beautiful Mind, with Russell Crowe, when he's schizophrenic or whatever it is, and he sees these things, and he's and to him it's real. It's totally real to him, but it's all in his mind. And I used to see that movie and wonder. I remember watching that movie years ago, and wondering, that's a really weird problem to have. I could never imagine that happening to me, but now I can see how that can happen to someone. It can make you go crazy, because in your mind you're hearing these thoughts, and it kind of just brings you your own, like, it brings you into a world that's not real, and you don't realize that it's not real. You kind of have to somehow, pray in the spirit, or pray to break that, how can I say it, break that. So like being hypnotized, where they put these thoughts in there, and you just focused on the thoughts so much, these evil, negative thoughts that you hate, that's hurting you, that you forget. Listen, wait, you kind of forget to wake up. It's, wait, I'm in battle. This is battle right now. I'm being tortured right now. Okay, Kareem, wake up, snap out of it, pray in the spirit. um so you got to remember, when you have the thoughts, you got to constantly keep your mind geared towards the fact that this is battle, and you have to develop your techniques on how to get out of your mind, and keep your mind on the things of God, so that you realize, that you're doing battle. If you don't realize that you're doing battle, you're gonna be stuck in the thoughts that He's putting into your head, and it's gonna torture you. So on the way, it's sort of like living in, the whole the picture I have in my head is that I realize that I'm doing. At first, I have to, when I'm going through what I'm going through, I have to actually picture myself in my head stepping back from what I'm going through, and looking at it from a bird's eye view, and seeing myself, and seeing this whole situation, that it's not real, and it's in my mind. Otherwise, you'll stay in the thoughts, in these thoughts, thinking that it's sort of real, when they're totally not, or when they're totally, they're just thoughts being projected into your head, and kind of creating this horrible world of thoughts that you can't get out of. That's how my experience has been. Okay, so I have to keep constantly step back. Just create like a mental picture of myself stepping back from this situation, looking at it for what it really is, which is not real. It's actually thoughts that are being projected in battle that I'm doing. Okay, so that's one thing that we have to constantly keep our guard up with, is that, this is one of the schemes of Satan. It's is to capture our minds, okay, and capture our souls, and put thoughts in that you hate, and just to a point where you want to cry. I mean, sometimes the only way you can really get relief is to just cry. just cry and let it out. But it's temporary, but it does work at times. Um, so I'm not sure to what degree to what degree your battle is, but mine it's been an onslaught, man. I mean, morning, noon, night. I mean, and there's all things that triggers. The thing that Satan does is, he's really fast with it. So you can't really tell if it's. Sometimes you're not really sure if it's your thought, if it's you triggering it, or if it's the enemy triggering thoughts. That's one of the things that I'm trying to iron out. Because a lot of times he doesn't start the process right off with being negative. It can start off as um, a regular thought about something that's just maybe not really associated with the torment you're going through, and then he'll take and then give you another thought and another thought until he eventually gets to the ultimate thought that he wants you to have, which is whatever it is that's tormenting you. Okay, so you gotta see that's one of the tricks that he has too. Sometimes he doesn't start off right away with the thought that he wants to get into your head. He'll start off with something else and make you think about something else that's seemingly unrelated, and then he'll give you another thought that is kind of related to the first thought, and just pretty much keep that thought up, and until he has control of your mind, and then when he has complete control as far as the thoughts, then he'll give you the thought that you hate. And then by that time, you're kind of stuck in this thought process, and you don't realize, okay, this wasn't me, this isn't me, this is the enemy putting thoughts into my head and torturing me mentally. Okay, yeah, guys. So just keep the faith. One thing I can say is that when this torment happens, when this battle starts, you're not in your right mind. Sometimes if you don't have control, if you don't recognize what's happening, you won't be in your right mind, and you might say or do things that you normally wouldn't do just to have some relief for a moment. You know. So the one thing you have to, sometimes you don't know what to pray. When you're going through this stuff, you just want to get immediate relief. So sometimes praying doesn't really happen unless you pray in the spirit. That's one thing that I've been doing a lot. I mean, a lot, all throughout the day. I just keep praying in the spirit, praying in tongues. In the morning, at nighttime, at work, when I come home, in the car. I mean, I just keep praying in the spirit. Build up my spirit, man. And throughout this whole process, the Lord, He's given me discernment. He's giving me discernment. He's letting me know. But with this whole experience, He's showing me, He's refining me, and He's making my perception of things a little clearer, and He's making me more alert to the schemes of Satan, of his kingdom. Just like that a verse in Hebrew says. I think the verse is I guess he was talking about the saints, where he says, them, they have their senses exercised. Well, no, he says, they're able to discern between good and evil by having their senses exercised. So that's what's happening to me. I've noticed now. That's exactly what's happening to me, and also what's happening to you, whether you realize it or not. Your senses are being exercised by the devil. Your thoughts, and you're able to discern. You're starting to learn how to discern what's you, what's the enemy, what's God. So just keep going, keep pushing through, guys. I know we're almost at the end. We're almost there. That's why the devil is ramping up the attacks for everybody, because he knows we are at the end. And and one of the proofs that I had, throughout these few weeks, a lot of stuff. I've been having a lot of dreams, and the Lord has been speaking to me. Also, one experience was I kept seeing 444 over and over again. I wasn't sure why. But I've learned now not to ignore certain things, years ago, you might have told me this stuff about numbers, and I would say, "Oh, this guy's some kind of religious nut," or even when I was a Christian, I didn't believe in this stuff. But when you experience it, it's totally different. It kind of when you experience this end time stuff, it kind of opens your eyes to things, and you're more willing to pay attention, and God can really speak to you, right? Um, here's one experience. This is one experience that I think we're getting close to the end. It's in my opinion. Um, One morning I woke up. Okay, God speaks to me a lot of times through numbers. Woke up, I looked at my clock, and it was 4:44. Okay, my alarm doesn't go off until 6. But this night I woke up, it was 4:44, and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I said, okay, I think God is going to start talking to me again. So, but I wasn't sure. But I know whenever I wake up, when it's all three numbers like that, something is up. So, I get up that morning, and I'm watching. I forgot what I was watching. I was watching some kind of video on YouTube, right? And my wife asked me to check on the kids for some reason. So I stopped the video. I go check on the kids, and then I come back to play the video. To start the video again. And before I press play to continue the video, I look at the time, and I stopped the video at 4 minutes and 44 seconds exactly. What are the chances of that? I just saw 4:44 in the clock, and now I just happened to pause the video because my wife asked me to pause it and go check on the kids. I come back, I paused it at exactly 4 minutes and 44 seconds. All right. Now the same day, now I'm working on my laptop, and while I work, I listen to YouTube videos while I'm working. All right. So I'm working, I'm playing the video, I'm typing on my laptop, and this video is about 15 minutes or so long. And I just happened to glimpse over. I'm not sure why. Maybe the Lord told me to glimpse over. I glimpsed over at my phone to see the video, and it was exactly 4 minutes and 44 seconds into the video. Exactly. As soon as I glimpsed over, the 444 was right there, and then it continued to 445 and 446. That's exactly when I looked over. It was 4 minutes and 44. And this video is 15 minutes. What are the chances of me looking over when it's exactly at 4 minutes and 44 seconds into a 15-minute video? Okay. Now, and that's not it. Now, that same day, around maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, I'm going to get my taxes done. All right. I'm coming back from getting my taxes done. I'm walking, looking straight, and I'm going to my car. And before I go to my car, I happen to look to the right. I see a car right there with license plates 444 in it. Now, this can't be a coincidence, guys. This is like around 4 or 5 times in one day. Okay, so we are getting close, and I wasn't sure what 444 meant, so I didn't really pray about it that much. So I actually searched on YouTube to see if anyone else is having this experience of 444, and then I found that a lot of people are having the same thing with 444, and they've been getting confirmations that it's time for us to get out of here. It's time for the rapture to happen soon. Okay, Christ coming back soon. And I saw one video where I mentioned also it's time for judgment to be carried out. All right, so yeah, guys, we're almost there. The signs are there. So just know that when you're going through something for a purpose, okay, and it's almost over, you're special. That's why the devil is coming at you and attacking you. You are God's child, special, chosen for this particular time, for this end time. He knows that. That's why he's targeting you. So you have to keep reminding yourself of that, whenever the attacks start to happen. All right. And one more thing. And this is something else. I'm not sure what this actually means. But I'm gonna, I was gonna make a separate video about the dream and about the stuff that I was saying, but it's always a time issue with me. But the thing was actually last week or this week, February. Let me see what's today's date. Today is February 26th. I believe this happened February 24th or 23rd, one of the two. I was in the shower. I think I was talking to God in the shower, and while I'm there talking about something else, he says the word Tishrei to me. I'm like Tishrei. What is Tishrei? It's like Tishrei. I'm like, that sounds very familiar. I'm like, I'm saying to myself, that sounds very familiar. Tishrei, Tishrei. So I'm saying it over and over again as I'm getting out of the shower, as I'm drying myself off, as I'm walking to the hamper. I'm like, Tishrei, Tishrei, Tishrei. Why do I have the word Tishrei in my head? And then as I'm putting my clothes in the hamper, he says, month of Tishrei. So I'm like, okay, So I go to Google, go to my phone, I Google month of Tishrei, right? And I pull up something that says month of Tishrei. And this is, I'll show it to you right now. That's it. See? Month of Tishrei. It's a Jewish holiday that lands on between September and right there, September and October. Okay. So I don't know. This is what I think this is called. The site's called JewFact.com. I don't know what this means. I'm not sure if this. I know there's a lot of there are a lot of prophecies about stuff happening in September. I'm not sure if this is pointing to anything. I'm not sure why he would tell me about this Tishrei, month of Tishrei. Okay, I'm not familiar with this at all, and I had no idea this is going to be September or October. But this is what I heard: month Tishrei, and then he kind of elaborated a little more, and he told me month of Tishrei, and that's what I Googled, and this is what I found. Okay, which lands on September, falls in September, at the end of September until October. All right. So take that for whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not saying the rapture is going to happen in Tishrei or September. I'm not saying that at all, because no one knows the day, especially not me. All right, but I'm just sharing that with you. Maybe you have some input you'd like to provide. Yeah. So, and also I've been having, for the past few weeks, I've been having a lot of dreams about floods and a storm coming. Where do I start with this thing? I don't want to make this video too long, guys. It's almost 30 minutes already. But the first dream I had, well, let's put it this way. I had a dream. I was in my bedroom. I was looking out the window, and I saw that it was gonna rain. Okay, and it looked like it was gonna be some really, 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 really bad storm rain. So I go and close my window in my bedroom, like a bay window. I go to close it, and when I'm about to close it, I see this huge flood come from the left side of the trees and mountains, from my left side, and it's dirty. It's dirty water. Okay, that I noticed. It was like dirty water flowing from the left side, coming towards my home. And in the dream, I remember thinking, "Oh, well, there's no sense in me closing the window. I can't stop this flood from coming." That's what I thought in my dream. There's no sense in me. I didn't have anything before this dream. I mean, before this scene or after the scene. I just had this one scene about the flood coming, and then that was it. So I know it's significant. So I saw the flood coming, and I said to myself in my dream, "There's no sense in me even closing the window because I can't stop it." Okay, that was it. I had another one, and back when I was reflecting on this dream, and I was wondering why did it come from the left side? That kind of stood out. It came from the left side, and then the Lord brought to my attention that I had a dream before this. Maybe I think it was last year, where I had a dream about this tsunami, a huge flood that was coming, and it came also from the left side. Well, I'll tell you the whole thing. I was standing there, and I saw that you know how when a tsunami or is going to happen, the water will recede temporarily. It'll go out, right? And I saw that happen. I saw the water go out, and I said, "Oh man, it's gonna be a tsunami. It's gonna be a huge flood. I can see the water going out." But then what happened? The water came back in nice and slow. Like, so I said, "Okay, I guess it was a false." In my dream, I'm thinking it was a false call. It didn't happen. So then, while I'm thinking that it's a false call, it didn't happen, I look to my left, and the huge tsunami is coming at me from my left side. Okay, which is, so it was huge. I mean, huge, like hundreds of feet high, maybe, or maybe more. And so I'm running with my son, and I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but I'm running with my son, and I see the flood coming over on top of the houses, and I'm running to my old house that I used to live in, and I grab on a chain to the house. The chain that is actually attached to the roof of this house. So I grab on the chain. I'm trying to crawl up the chain so that I can have something to hold on to. And at the same time, I have my son in my arm, and then the flood comes and it hits me, hits both of us, and I drop my son in the water when the flood hits. So I go down into the water with one hand on the chain, still hanging onto the chain, and I pick up my son out of the water. I get him out of the water and bring him up. And for some reason, it's a Mexican guy. I don't know, it doesn't make any sense at all, but it's a Mexican guy. And so the guy changes from my son into a Mexican dude, and I'm holding him in my hand. And the next thing I remember is I'm in front of this building, and someone is inside this. I'm in front of the building. Somehow, I don't know. Somehow I'm levitating in front of the window of this building, and I can see someone inside this room of this building typing. Either I'm levitating, or the flood has carried me up there, and and she's typing, and then for some reason I say the words, "Mexicans can't swim very well," and I was saying it kind of in a jokingly way, that Mexicans can't swim very well. Don't know why I said that, and I said it in a kind of a joke, like a joke almost. But I said that, and then boom, dream was over. All right. Don't know what that meant. If you have any insight, please share it share it in your comments below. All right. Please pray in the Holy Spirit if you can, and ask God to give you information before you comment. Okay. So that's that one. The second dream I had where the flood came from the left side. That was about last year. The first one I told you before that happened actually. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. So yeah, then I had another dream where this huge flood came over the mountains. Right, I drew it right here for you guys. This is how it was. Right, this was my house, and up here are the huge mountains. Okay, this is me and my wife walking this way. So we're walking this way, and all of a sudden I see water pouring start to come over the mountains. All right, and these mountains are huge. So if the mountains are that big and the water's pouring over it, it's a lot of water. Right, so they're coming over, and we see this, and I say something like, in shock when I see it, and we begin to run, right? And this is the part that doesn't make sense to me, but I know it's significant. We're running this way. Somehow we run around, or to get to this point, to go into a house, to go into the basement, right? And as we're running, the waves of water come from this direction for some reason, from the left again. From the left. I'm not sure what this means. Okay. So now you're probably thinking the same thing I thought. If the flood is coming over this mountain, it should be so huge that it should just pretty much, destroy the house and everything, like a tsunami flood. That's what I thought too. But for some reason, it's almost like a sheet of water came over. Just a sheet of water came over the mountain. Okay, kept coming over the mountain, sheets of water. So what wasn't a huge tsunami? I'm not sure what was behind this mountain. I don't know, but it was like a sheets of water were coming over, enough to to pretty much overtake the mountain and come over. Okay, so it wasn't a tsunami, but sheets of water, and it came from this direction. And my wife, my child, my daughter were right here, and I was like right there, kind of watching this, right here. and they both try to run to the house. But before they can get to the house, the water came. One wave came in and just pretty much smashed them into this gate right here. This is a fence. This is a fence, and it smashed them into the fence, and they both went down on the water. So the water reached maybe up to their waist. Okay, and it smashed it, and then it hit them into the fence, and then the water receded back. So I go over there to grab them, and I pick up my wife and my daughter, and I see my wife's face, and it's just so weird. It's like she's in what's the word, catatonic state, where her eyes are open and her mouth is open, like she's in total shock, right? And then she stays that way for a good like 30-40 seconds, where her mouth is just totally, really agape, open, and her eyes are open. She's just frozen like that in shock for like 30-40 seconds. And I'm trying to get her to wake up. Are you okay? You okay? And so she finally comes out of it. And then I think she starts to run to the house again. But then while we're there, while she's walking, another flood comes right from the left. So now it's like a sheets of water are coming in waves. Okay, not one big wave like I would have thought, but it came in sheets. 1, 2, 3. Enough to knock us down, but not kill us. Okay, and that was the end of the dream. Eventually we got into the house. But the sheets of water kept coming from the sheets of water, but maybe I don't know, they go up to your waist or up to your knees, and they just kept coming and receding, kept coming, hitting us, receding, kept coming and receding. Okay, so it sounds like, I don't know, maybe persecution or spiritual attack. I'm not positive yet. Okay, and one more dream that I had. I had another dream that was it was similar to my first one, where I was in this house or whatever, and I saw a huge, really bad. I had this thing, it was last week or February. I don't know. I would say maybe February 10th or February 10th or February 17th. It was one of those Mondays. Okay, those Tuesdays. And so I'm trying to close the windows to this house. I'm in this house, and it's not even a house. It's like a castle almost. But I'm in there, and I see this huge storm coming towards the place that I'm in. So I'm closing all the windows to brace myself for the storm. I get to the last window, and I can't close this window for some reason. There's like this it's like a cannon, but it's a cannon made of rock. It's weird. I know it sounds weird, but it's a cannon made of rock, and it was sitting in the window, as if pointing out the window, as if to fire on people. And it was sitting in that window, and I was trying to move the cannon out the way so I could close the window before the storm arrived. But I was never able to close the window in time before the storm. So again, it's the same scenario that I had before, where there's a storm coming and I can't close the window. So it's like there's no stopping it. Okay. And also one more thing. Remember I told you that for some reason the water kept coming from the left in these dreams about floods. From here, it came from the left, and then in the dream I had before, the first one when I was, the tsunami came from the left. So the other night I was praying in the shower, and I kept hearing east. I kept asking him about it. He kept saying east, east, east. I'm like, east? What do you mean east? So are you saying the water came from the east? Because I wasn't sure what direction. I know it came from the left, but I'm not sure if that was east or not. So he goes east. He kept saying east. So I said, okay. So what I did was I have a compass application on my phone, right? So I put the compass application up, right? And I stood in front of the window. In my dream, I was in front of my bedroom window. So I went to that same bedroom window that I was standing in my dream when the water came from the left, and I turned my compass on and I put the compass down. And guess what? That direction where the water came from is just like he was saying to me, east. Here, I took a snapshot of my compass application that I have on my phone. And as you can see there, the water came from this way. Started from left, coming this way. So he was right. Well, of course he's right. He's God. But yeah, I heard right. He kept saying east, east. And he was right. If I stand in front of my window in my bedroom and I look out the window, section, the part where the water was coming from is this direction, east. Okay, so that's consistent for some reason. All right. One more dream I'm going to share with you guys that I had. This one's kind of weird. I know it's significant, but it's weird. I don't have any information on what it means. I was looking at this. This is all water. This is all water, guys. Okay, and for some reason, there's a body of water right here, and there's a barrier, like a piece of land right here and right here, that kind of divides the waters, right? And for some reason, there's a barrier right here. This barrier opened up, and there's like a little section here where the water can come through now. So the water's coming from through this section, which for some reason in my dream, this doesn't make sense, I know, but for some reason in my dream, I think I referred to this section of the water as like Mexico. I'm not 100% sure about that, guys, but I think I recall, just referring to this part of the water as Mexico. I don't know why, but whatever. So the water, to just this little barrier, a gap opens up, and it's allowing water to come in here. And everyone on the news is watching this event. Oh yeah, one more thing. Before this started, I was looking at the stars in my dream. When I was looking at the stars, the thoughts in my mind were, "This is the end of the world." That's what I was thinking. Now, if you go back and look at one of my other videos that I made, where I drew on the paper some information, that's the same thought that I had. When the dream began was, and I was looking at the stars, and the stars were going by the sky, remember, really fast. You probably didn't watch the video. If you didn't watch the video, you should go back and take a look at it. Where the stars were going by the sky really fast, and I was thinking to myself, this is the end of the world. So when this dream started right here, this new dream that I had last week or whatever, week before, I was looking at the stars and the same thing, but the stars weren't moving. But my thought in my head in my dream when I saw the stars was, this is the end of the world. This event is the end of the world. And yeah, so everyone knew about this event that was going to happen. They were aware of it. They were preparing for it. But they didn't realize it was the end of the world. They were just thinking that it's a huge, some kind of huge event. I mean, it was on the news. People were talking about the news. That people were getting ready for it. And I don't know what this is. I mean, this is water right here, and this is water, and this body of water over here was coming through this gap into this main body of water, and people were preparing for it. I don't know if this represents spiritual world. This is our, I don't know, spirit dimension. It's our dimension. I don't know what it means. I'm just guessing. And I recall thinking that there would be, when this thing happens, there would be a small piece of land for people to hang on to, and not everyone would be able to fit on this thing, and I was worried that I would be, part on the land and part in the water, and maybe sharks or whatever might try to eat me while I'm hanging in the water and hanging on to this piece of land. That's what I recall thinking in my dream. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it was a big event. Everyone knew about it, and everyone was preparing for it. And this whole event reminded me of the end of the world for some reason, but they probably thought it was something else. But yeah, that's a dream. That's the last dream I had. All right, guys. So I don't want to make this video. Well, the video's already long. It's like 43 minutes already. So I'm going to end it right here. But like I said, guys, stay encouraged. Okay, keep praying in the Spirit. When you're going through stuff and you don't know what to pray for, pray in the Spirit. If you don't know how to pray in the Spirit, ask God. Just do it by faith. Open your mouth up and ask God to give you the words, and just say whatever comes out of your mouth. Just say whatever comes out of your heart. Whatever language he gives you. It's going to sound weird maybe at first. You might feel a little embarrassed or feel stupid because you're saying words that you don't understand, but just do it by faith, and that the Holy Spirit will give you the utterance to pray for what you got to pray for in order to get through this battle. Okay, so right, God bless, love you.